Sorry, Mark. Some have argued, even a couple of messages have come in, that it doesn't seem as if they were aware, because from the news report we gathered, none of its staff were on that aircraft. The individuals who were found with the monies in that particular aircraft were not members of maybe the DMI, the NSA, or the military. So why would that kind of money meant for that purpose being fretted by individuals who are civilians like any other?
That is why it's called a black operation. They are not meant to be there. If it was a direct military to military purchase, then they should be there. When you're running a black operation, you use people that are not really associated with you. But the most important thing is that the hardware you're expecting, you should get it. The issue of hardware denial to Nigeria dates back to the Civil War era, when Nigerian military wanted weapons from Britain and from the United States. They were denied. And we had to go to Russia. The T-55 that is on ground in Nigeria came from Russia through Ukraine.
But even
the jets that we had then were Russian made.
But again, I don't know.
No, let me
yes, just key this in. Are they experts? The individuals who are not members of staff of these agencies, are they experts in arms or an ammunition?
The issue
because
is
if you ask someone to go to the market who is inexperienced, then you're likely to get something that you haven't actually paid for.
No. When you need something so quickly, those who sell the arms, especially if they're not government agents and they are individuals, will expect you to pay them cash before they release their weapons. When you are dealing government to government, it becomes easier to do bank transactions because there is certificate of end user. All those rules must be followed. But if, for instance, there is an equipment that you need that can be a game changer for you in the theater of operation, then you must do what is necessary. And even during the Iran-Contra issue in America, the people that went on the field of operation were not necessarily active people, except Oliver North, who was commanding the operation.
Is South Africa listed amongst those nations where you can have a black market for arms?
Well, South Africa, during the apartheid, is known to have good inventory of weaponry, but not necessarily a point where you can buy it. There is also a possibility of an aircraft being on transit to Cyprus that also have numerous arms in its inventory. The aircraft in question may also be in transit to Belarus, which is also another source for the kind of equipment that the federal government is looking for. So there is no mystery here. If the federal government, in my estimation, had come out to say, we have nothing to do with it, and fold their hands, then we can begin to look at the intrigue and say something is quite ominous. But federal government is transparent enough to come and say, this is our money. It's just that what they failed to tell Nigerians is that we are sorry that what we tried to do didn't work the way we planned it. Mistakes are made. Iran-Contra was a mistake. America admitted it and dealt with it within their own system.
The implication of this?
What implication are you talking about?
The implication of this deal that's gone awry to our image, to the country, international community. Does it make us look good?
I don't think we have lost anything in image from my own perception. It just shows that we are a desperate nation in need of the right tools to degrade the insurgency in our area. The only problem here is that the character that owns the vehicle shouldn't have been in the picture in the first place, and that is Ayorisa Jofo. They could have used a much more different approach to get the results. And in this case, they didn't. And all the nation needs to do is to say to Nigerians, we are sorry, but we needed to do this. And that we're expecting somebody to say to us.
You know, you say that, you know, I was listening to your initial submissions and you talked about a black operation. I think it's the first time I'm listening to that word or hearing the word. As usually you people talk about, you know, or we used it for, we're going to buy arms on the black market. So I was going to ask you, it's a very elementary question, what is a black operation and what are the components of a black operation?
There's a language in the security agencies that say they need to know basis. But for the benefit of the audience, when a government embarks on a black operation, it is those operations that you really do not want many people to know anything about, so that you can be able to accomplish the main objective that you have set in place. And that objective is to reverse the insurgency. Maiduguri was in sight of the insurgents. Last time I was here, you reeled out the various communities that have been under the hands of these people.
I don't want to go
So what I'm trying to say is that the government sat down and said, what do we have on the plate? What do we need? The army have come in and said, we need X, Y, Z. We need attack helicopters. We need Chinook helicopters.
I'm not going into the motive.
No, what I'm trying to say, what necessitates a black operation?
No, I'm not going into the motives just yet. I'm just asking what it is.
Yes.
What the components are. Because you've talked about how government usually uses people not quite associated with it.
Yes.
One of the reasons a lot of people would say that is the case is because when things go awry as well, you know, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Those people bear the consequences of it. Is that right?
You're very correct about that. But in this particular case, the government rose to the occasion and said, we are responsible.
Was that wise?
The government, was it wise to own the responsibility?
Yes.
In this particular case, it is, because already the ambassador of Nigeria has gotten into the situation in South Africa, and the desk officer in South Africa have gotten involved. Therefore, the government cannot deny not being involved.
The reason I ask those questions is because we know the implications of, you know, buying arms on the black market. It's something that we're talking about. Just
wait a minute. They didn't say they're buying arms in black market. Did they say so? They are not buying arms in black market.
Who are we buying arms from?
They are buying arms through the back door. That's a different thing.
I did hear you say that the people whom you're going to be buying arms from will need cash.
Yes.
They will need the cash before they let the arms
through the back doors.
Why would they need that? Because if you're buying from, you know, if you're buying from a legal source, what I have heard so far is that we needed to buy arms from the black market.
No. If you're buying arms from the black market, I mean, there is a sequence from what we've seen. What are you buying from black market? Are you going to buy a Chinook helicopter from the black market? That's a very big helicopter.
Are you going to buy a Chinook helicopters with $9.3 million?
Excuse me, I don't know the cost variation at this particular point in time, but I also believe that what has happened has happened. And the government have come up and say, we are responsible for what has happened. What I think we need to do as a nation now is the Senate committee and House committee ought to sit with the various arms of the security agencies and ask relevant questions. It is not for public debate. So the Deputy Speaker was correct in saying that this is a security issue. It should be discussed. When it becomes a public space discussion is when government says, we don't know anything about this.
Well,
then we can now make so much more noise on it.
There is